Oh, hello, and welcome back once again. My name is Eric McLennan. This is my YouTube channel, and this is Grand Theft Auto 5. What the hell's this vehicle called? Nagasaki something something? Let's find out. I am at the Los Santos Customs in East Los Santos, established in 1987. I am riding my little $40,000 motorcycle called Nagasaki Carbon RS. A little hard to see. And this is going to be my third iteration, my third episode, my third issue, my third season of the San Andreas State Tour. I'm not going to explain it this time since I've already done it twice before now. This is my third one. Hopefully this time I can... Actually, I really didn't make a ton of route mistakes last time. Hopefully I can make even less this time, such as getting on the proper highway lane immediately. I got to get directly into the center of this highway here in order to take the main branch of the highway that heads north to towards the mountain. There it is. There it is. That's a quick merge. I mean, you know, if that were a real life, that would be pretty difficult to get across those lanes of traffic, depending on what time of day it is. But yeah, here we are on the San Andreas State Tour. We loop the whole state. We go up and down the mountain in various vehicles. And then while we're doing it, I mean, I'm just enjoying myself because I just love driving around in GTA 5. But I also tell stories and stuff, and just talk about video games and life and whatever I find interesting. So, sometimes just the action itself is pretty interesting. This part of the highway tends to be pretty crowded, so maybe I should just focus on threading the needle here. I also have a tendency, ever since Vice City, when I'm on the motorcycle, I'm always holding forward on the analog, which makes your character move their head and their upper body down and forward so that they're creating less air resistance, so you go a little faster. I'll let go of it so you can see what it's like. See how I lift it up, and the motor of the bike got a little less quiet because it's just not going quite as fast. So I'm always doing that, but obviously it makes it a little more dangerous and a little harder to steer since I'm constantly pushing forward on the analog and I have to, you know, sensitively wiggle it left and right. But anyway, I mean, this is certainly the riskiest of the three tours I've done so far. The first and second ones were done with a Chameleon and with a Fugitive, which are both cars. Love trying to drive on the lines, especially with a motorcycle. Drive precisely on it, pretty fucking difficult. Okay, I gotta watch for when I get to Grapeseed. I need to take that turn to take the path of the mountain. Yeah, so there's sadly major risk of me dying, since, you know, your character is just a lot more vulnerable. Wait, can I put a helmet on? What do I hit? I can't remember what button I hit to put the helmet on. Whatever. I think this is the turn here. Is this it? This is not it. I think it's soon, though. Yeah, so hopefully I don't die. Hopefully I don't crash the bike into something, or, like, you know, if I fall off the mountain path the way I did with both the Chameleon and the Fugitive with this fucking bike, this carbon thing, I'm definitely gonna be at a major risk of dying. And if I die, I'm just gonna end the video right there, and that will just be considered a failed run at the San Andreas State Tour. But I'm big on, you know, transparency and just, you know, accepting your lot in life. You know, like, I'm not going to try and portray myself to always be perfect. I'm not going to only upload successful runs of this. This, to me, is just all about the fun of driving around in San Andreas. And sometimes that involves just eating shit, you know? But this should probably actually be better for driving on these mountain paths. Because, oh fuck. Oof. Okay, that's not the end of the world, but also not ideal. Because it's only got 2 wheels. You know, when I have a 4-wheeled car that's pretty low to the ground, you know, you go up and over like a little cliff like this. Oh, that I can't make because this thing doesn't have enough juice. And as soon as, you know, a couple of your wheels aren't touching anymore, you really lose a lot of your traction. Whereas on the bike, you pretty much always have some level of traction. You're either going to have both wheels on the ground or just the back wheel, and that's just fine. There's not going to be many scenarios where you only have the front wheel on the ground. And if you are in that scenario, you probably have way bigger problems than traction at that point. Yeah, maybe a lot less of the holding up to increase my speed on the bike while I'm on this trail. Yeah, my driving still is definitely a long way from 100%, and online it's probably at 70%. It's an awesome lens flare there. So, you know, this isn't like an exact science of which is the best vehicle to take a tour of San Andreas and make it up the mountain on. I could do something more scientific eventually, but I mean, there's only so much science you can add in. There are so many variables in San Andreas from, oh no. Okay. A little bit of gas just to, okay, we're good. There's so many variables like the traffic, the weather, even the time of day. Certain times of day are way easier to see than others. So yeah, this is really just, it's like, it's science, but it's fun science, you know? This isn't so rigid. This is just the science of how much fun can I have while taking a tour of the state of San Andreas in Grand Theft Auto 5, and how much entertainment value can I provide to people on YouTube who are looking to be entertained and given some brief respite from their worldly stresses. Hopefully I can provide that for you. So we're a little ways from the top yet. I go to a certain spot at the top of the mountain every single time. I paid the mechanic $10 for the day. Why the hell would I do that? I guess that's all just part of GTA Online. Obviously with the bike I can like do way more up here. With the cars, so here's where I decided to make my little parking spot right here. It's a nice little plateau, good parking spot for a car. The thing is, you know, it would be fun to get every single vehicle right up on the peak. Whoops. Oh shit. Fuck. Oh boy. Dust off, no big deal. Like, ooh, it'd be kind of fun to try and get the bike. Could I? Oh no, those things don't connect to the roof. If those connected to the roof, I could almost like take the bike Super Monkey Ball style up onto the roof. But regardless, if you take a car up here and try driving around, you get caught on a lot of rocks. So without a bike or, you know, an ATV or a monster truck or something, it's a little too difficult to try and get right up to the peak up here. But I'll do it with a bike just for fun. Sup, bruh? Okay, I should not assault this guy. Okay, I just scared him. I didn't assault him. Okay, everybody saw that. But yeah, so I usually just come up to here. But oh, look how beautiful this is! What a great game! What an absolutely great game. Cool. Man, I feel like half the time I spent playing in this game back in 2014, I did beat the main story and I enjoyed it, but I feel like half the time I spent was just like grabbing a vehicle and driving around, and like I would always wind up back on the mountain. I would drive up the mountain and then I would drive down the mountain. Drive up a different side of it and then I would drive down a different side of it. So much fun. It's kind of like back in San Andreas on the PlayStation 4. You know, I beat that whole game. But a lot of the time I would just get sucked into just flying the planes around, honestly. I would just save at my, like, airport hangar garage out in the desert and just fly the little, like, stunt plane around. It's so much fun. Or take, like, a Sanchez or a PCJ 600 or something and taking up Mount Chiliad and then ramp it off the mountain and fly down with a parachute. All kinds of good fun. Oh boy! Uh-oh! Okay, we're okay. Look at the view, though. Look at that. And the lighting. Look at the sun on those mountains. The shader work just looks incredible. The town down there. You got that lake. I can't remember what that lake is called. Is that Lago Zancudo? Let's check the map. It's not going to tell me, eh? Lago Zancudo might be over here. Whatever. Regardless, this game's very, very cool. Very immersive, I find. And, like, not all games that go for super realism wind up being immersive. A lot of them wind up being the exact opposite. Because they try too hard. And then they're always, like, trying to beat you over the head with little details when, like, all you want to do is just kind of get into the flow of the game. This game has all the little details, but they're not always bombarding you with it and forcing you to look at it. Like, oh, this is tempting. Oh, that was so tempting, but I don't want to die. That's not the goal right now. I can make other videos if people want, or if I want, where I do, like, you know, like some kind of stunt tour of... Maybe that'll be my second, after I've done so many episodes of the San Andreas driving tour. Maybe eventually I'll do like a stunt tour or something. But yeah, this game's not always beating you over the head with the immersion of it, but it's all there. But it lets you get into a flow. That is way more important for immersion than any realistic details. And that should be obvious, but it's not to a lot of people for some reason. I'm not sure exactly why. I can speculate. But regardless, you know, it should be obvious to people that graphics don't have to be realistic in order to have immersion, because people got immersed to NES games. That sounds maybe ridiculous for somebody who didn't grow up with it, but like anybody who like got hooked on like Star Tropics or Crystallis or Zelda 1 or 2 back on the NES, or Final Fantasy or Dragon Warrior, knows you can get really, really immersed in a world that looks like it was drawn by a 5-year-old. And that's not to insult the graphics of any of those games, but it was just very basic. Anyway, that's my little rant on immersion. Speaking of those games, actually, I have the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster now, and I did runs so far, recorded, commentated runs of Final Fantasies 1, 2, and 3. But I want to edit them into, like, I don't want to do them episodically. I want each of those games to just be one video. But each of them has, you know, maybe like 20 hours of video that I have to edit down. So I just haven't gotten to doing that yet. So those will be like some medium-term releases. But then, speaking of those games as well, in my last video I was talking about my history with gaming and how the first few games that I ever saw or played were like Super Mario Bros, Ninja Gaiden 2, you know, a clone of Breakout, the game with the paddle and the bouncing ball and breaking the bricks. And other games I got into really early on the NES that, oh boy, oh, that was almost my life right there. Thank fucking God. Games that I did not own, even though I didn't own a ton of NES games, but I owned some really cool ones. Like I was saying, the first games I got were Super Mario Bros. And Ninja Gaiden 2, which were amazing. And like, how did my parents know to buy only awesome games? Hard to say, but somehow they had really good game radars back in the early 90s. Because the other games I wound up getting on the NES were like Super Mario Bros. 2 and 3. I mean, those are obvious. Lots of people had those. But I also had Battletoads. I had Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game. I had probably my most obscure game, which was not obscure at all, was Yoshi, the puzzle game. Not Yoshi's Cookie, but Yoshi. Where you control Mario or Luigi at the bottom of the screen, like swapping the columns of stuff that you have stacked, and you're trying to make bigger and bigger Yoshi eggs. Oh boy. Oh boy! Oh, look at that. I just love this driving so much. So much, but it's getting hard to see right now. I feel like I should turn my headlights off to see better. But when I was a young lad with an NES, I happened to live down the street from a kid that was I think he was about 3 years older than me, maybe. Or maybe he was only 1 or 2 years older than me. Really hard to hit all those when you're in a motorcycle, but extremely satisfying. Yeah, this kid lived down the street from me that I was kind of friends with. I think he liked me whenever his older friends weren't around. And I think, like, I was a little older or I was a little younger than him, so I think he kind of felt like I was a little too young to be hanging out with him, and he was kind of like babysitting. But I think he had fun at times, but he just didn't want me, like, necessarily cramping his style all the time, which is totally understandable. But anyway, through the grace of God, I borrowed 2 different video games off of him, one at a time, that I'm pretty sure were his dad's, because one of them had a save file where the game was beaten and it was his dad's name. I'm pretty sure he told me it was his dad's. But those games were Dragon Warrior I borrowed, and then Final Fantasy 1 for the NES. And Fantasy 1, I remember naming the party members after me and some of my friends, and the friends that I named the characters after were people from grade 3 and 4. So I must have already been in grade 3. I was probably 7 years old, because I skipped grade 2. So that kind of dates it. I guess that would have been around 93, I guess, because I was born in 86. So, you know, this was after these games were already out for several years. A lot of people were already onto the Super NES and Final Fantasy 2, but I didn't know any better, so I was having a great time. And, like, for anybody who doesn't know, Dragon Warrior and Final Fantasy both, not only did they come with great instruction manuals, but they both came with maps of the game that had, like some of the dungeon maps. They had, like, a little bit of, like, strategy type of stuff for earlier parts of the game. I gotta make sure I take the left fork here. The Final Fantasy one had a bestiary, so I was very lucky not only to get to play both of those games. I didn't beat either one, but I made it about halfway through each of them. And in Dragon Warrior, I remember I was able to beat the Green Dragon, and I was able to get, like, to the southern part of the map. I was getting my ass whooped a lot. I remember the last thing I was kind of doing in Dragon Warrior was trying to defeat the knight in the one, like, town that was full of monsters. That, you had to defeat this, like, knight that was guarding a chest, I think, that had, like, Erdrick's sword maybe in it. One of the pieces of Erdrick equipment. And then in Final Fantasy, I was able to get the ship, get the dynamite. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. My thumb slipped a little bit there. But we're still alive. Don't get run over. Don't get run over. Yeah, I was able to get the ship, get the dynamite, and I even defeated the vampire and the Earth Fiend, and I just missed my turn there. I will get better at this route. And then I was able, after I beat the Earth Fiend, that's when you can go to Crescent Lake and get the canoe from the Circle of Sages into the Castle of Ordeals up in the north, and I got the Rat Tail. But I was never able to beat Gurgu Volcano to beat the Fire Fiend, and I was also never able to beat the Frost Cave to... I think I'm about to take one of these exits, right? I think this one's probably going to be fine. I was never able to beat the Frost Cave to get the floater, so I never got the airship. I missed it, right? Oh, I can take this. Oh! That's fine. That's fine. That counts. That's totally fine. That totally counts. Fucking right. Oh, that lag. That was all lag. All my mistakes on this video were all lag, by the way, just so that you guys know. Because of that crash, I don't even have headlights to turn back on. That's hilarious. Yeah, but I was really lucky, and I was able to borrow Dragon Warrior and Final Fantasy. And think of that! Final Fantasy and Dragon Warrior in box. This kid, games that his dad had played and enjoyed, and his dad was a police officer. But, you know, it was the early 90s, and people were trusting, and people got along, and I was just able to borrow them, just as the little kid down the street. The dad probably had some sympathy for me, like I didn't have any other friends in the neighborhood or whatever. But yeah, not only borrow the cartridge, but borrow the whole fucking box with the manuals, the maps, and everything. And I loved those. And those started my love of RPGs. I mean, it started my even being aware of RPGs and figuring out what the hell they were and why, what are all these numbers about, and who am I fighting, and what is going on. Yeah, super cool. So that's another part of my history with video games, and that was another tour of San Andreas in Grand Theft Auto 5. This one seems like it took about 21 minutes, so that was even a minute or two faster than the last one, so sweet. Awesome, that was my tour with the Nagasaki Carbon RS. You can buy this thing for 40 grand in the online. It's like the cheapest motorcycle you can buy, which is why I bought it. And that's it. That's sweet. So thanks for being here. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have similar memories or different memories of, you know, your early gaming times and how you got into it, and what serendipitous events led to you becoming a gamer, if you are one. Let me know what you thought of my tour around the state. Let me know what you think of this whole, you know, idea for this series of videos. Let me know if you're interested in a full game run through of this game where I do the game like video after video. I mean, to record the whole game and put it all into one video, that would be a task of epic editing proportions that I'm not ready for. Even just the thought of editing the Final Fantasy videos is a little bit overwhelming to me. So I think I would do it, you know, episodically, even though I know that's not really popular on YouTube right now because people don't want to like jump into a giant series, which I get. There's a reason why I've never seen Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad, even though they're supposedly amazing. I just can't commit to that much, so I get it. But regardless, let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any suggestions. Let me know what vehicles you'd like to see me take on this tour. I mean, I'm gonna just try every single different kind of vehicle in this game. Good, bad, slow, fast. I mean, flying vehicles, just whatever. I'm gonna do it all. So yeah, let me know. Please like the video, helps me out a ton. I do want to eventually make money on this YouTube channel so that I can have that as a side hustle, if you will. That would be incredible because I'm extremely passionate about gaming. Hopefully that's coming across. And please sub to my channel. And then you can get more stuff like this, and you can get more of me in my smooth, silky voice. Anyway, oh, you know what? Let me shout out. I haven't made any shout outs in any of these videos so far, but let me shout out Poisonous Flame. I kind of feel bad now that I haven't shouted him out in either of the earliest two videos, but Poisonous Flame is a fellow small YouTuber like me who I watch a lot, and he watches my stuff, and he's just a cool guy. I find him entertaining. He just finished runs of Portal 1 and Portal 2, so definitely go check those out. He's talking about perhaps doing some like mods of Half-Life or Half-Life 2, which I've never played those games before. I'd like to play through those games one day. I've heard a million good things about them, but I've just never done it yet. But yeah, Poisonous Flame and I got kind of linked up on YouTube because we both do runs of From Software games. You know, I think both of us have done most of the From Software games. I think he's actually done all of them. Oh, other than Bloodborne. I've done Bloodborne, but he hasn't because he only has a PC. He doesn't have a PS4. But anyway, definitely go check out Poisonous Flame. He's an entertaining lad, and that's what I've got. So have a good one. Peace out, and look forward to the next episode of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas Tour.